Hey everybody, this is Targon, and I am going to show you how I do the spider. Spider 20, I'm going to just do my tutorial on spider 20. Most of these concepts will translate perfectly fine into earlier game levels, although I will say probably the best thing you can do early on is get an AoE nuker like a Kale, or you can even potentially use Elhain, or if you happen to have like this one, like Zargala, or anybody that does like massive AoE damage, those will just nuke out the spiderlings and the spider real quick. But once you get higher up, especially like once you hit like level 16 especially, you're going to need more strategy. So this is my spider team here. As you can see, I got Kantra as my lead. Syl, I've got Coldheart, Royal Guard, and Miscreated Monster. Now, there's a few other champions that you can use. I'm going to go ahead and start this thing and show you how it works. So notice the spider is Spirit Affinity. Notice that everybody here is Magic Affinity, which is the positive affinity. They're stronger against Spirit Affinity. And then I have Coldheart, who's neutral to everybody. But then Kantra is Force Affinity, which is intentional. All right, and I'm going to show you why. So let's go ahead and start this here. And I will take it off auto so I can kind of show you what's going on. First thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to use Syl to stun the spiderlings. Having some crowd control is good, just because it takes pressure off my tank. Kantra is going to use her ability, and I'll show you later why this is so awesome for her. So now I'm going to use Coldheart, and so typically her big thing is her A3 versus Spider. However, I am actually going to wait on that now intentionally, and I have it set up with the settings to do this second because I know speed-wise she should be able to get another hit in if Syl is able to decrease the spider's turn meter. So I'm going to go ahead and do this first. And now I'm going to have Royal Guard, and I have him set to open with this to bring down the spider's defense. This will allow Coldheart's nuke to do massive amounts of damage. And there we go. Now, Miscreated Monster, he is absolutely amazing for this if you have him build him up. This move, his A2, is amazing for Spider because look at those shields. All right, so now, and you just saw that Spiderling attack. The reason I have Kantra is all the Spiderlings will focus on her. So even though she's not doing a ton of damage, she is basically just there to soak up hits. And Syl gets her A1 to land, so it decreases the turn meter. Now I can do Coldheart's Heartseeker. And so let's see how much damage. Over 1 million. Coldheart and Royal Guard both have abilities that do damage based on max HP. So that is amazing for the spider. So I'm going to do that with him there, and that's another 1800. So I'm going to turn it on auto here and just kind of like let it kind of go. You see they keep attacking Kantra. And so the idea is she's going to soak up all the damage, and really Miscreated Monster is there to add shields to her and ally protect. So he's going to be sharing the damage that she takes. All right, so in this model, I'm not nuking the spiderlings, so the spider's going to heal. In later levels, you really can't focus on trying to take out the spiderlings. You just got to hit that spider as hard and as fast as you can. And if you can get a bunch of turn meter control, even better, because then it won't cycle through abilities. And Kantra has quite a few cool abilities that make her unique. I'll show you the set I have her in. There you go. Coldheart just did her nuke for 1,400,000 damage. And then we go. So 900,000 from Royal Guard. And you'll see Cantra like just kind of keeps healing. That's because of her passive, and I'll show you that later. That's why she's so great. And you see all that healing she's got. So she's like right back up. And I can, with this team, I can do this run in under 2 minutes, easy. Actually, I think I've done it under 90 seconds. Which might not be great for some players, but it's pretty good by my standards here. I'm pretty pleased with it. And let's see. Almost done. Let's see. Hopefully the spider should not get another turn here. Nope. All right. Cold Heart did her thing. Let's see. Crit damage. That's good. All right. So let me show you my team here. So let's start with Cantra. So I have her here in this Immortal set. So that heals by 3% every turn, just to give her a little bit of healing. I chose to go with that instead of Lifesteal just because she's getting weak hits a lot of times on the spider. But so what makes her so cool is her passive. In the middle here, you see it heals her by 1,200 health each time a debuff expires on an enemy. So that is super helpful. So that helps keep her alive. And she can also place her debuffs on weak hits. So this like Chaos Tempest attacks each enemy 3 times, and each hit has 50% chance to land a debuff. So there's a lot of debuffs going on here. She also has this awesome accuracy aura in all battles. And then I did give her a great mastery for Spider is I'll just open it up here, is War Master, because it'll do damage based on the enemy's max HP. So every once in a while she'll land that, which really helps. Oops. Other one I have here is Syl. Her whole thing is if you don't have her yet, she's awesome. This Boundless Life, it just constantly is healing everybody by 10% each time she takes a turn. She can revive every once in a while with this composition. I'll have either Cantra or Cold Heart might drop, and she can just pull them right back up. Her A2 stuns everybody, or has a good chance to stun everybody. And her A1 is huge because it decreases the spider's speed and decreases the turn meter. So that is super useful. So she's mostly about crowd control, keeping the team alive, keeping the spider from taking too many turns. Cantra is all about soaking up the damage. Miscreated Monster is also, he does crowd control because his A2 does stun. His A2 also puts up this shield on all allies equal to 25% of the damage inflicted. So if there's like 10 spiderlings and he lands this, there's massive shields for 3 turns, and it's a 3-turn cooldown. So that helps protect everybody. Also, his ally protection helps protect everybody. So this really helps keep Cantra up. So the big thing is you want to have a tank who is off color, who is the negative affinity, who soaks up all the spiderling damage. And then you have a few people designed to keep that person alive, like Miscreated Monster, like Syl. And then I have 2 nukes. So I have Royal Guard, because he is sort of 2-in-1. He does the decreased defense first, and then this takedown damages based on enemy max HP. Those are the kinds of champions you want. Max HP champions really help, especially later on versus Spider. So look at your team. You want to find someone who's defense-based for this, because the Spiderling poisons do more damage the higher health you have. Doesn't mean you don't want high health, but defense is better. So, for example, if I was fighting a Magic Affinity Spider, I might take Iron Brago as my champion because he's a defense champion of the negative affinity. So all the Spiderlings are going to swarm him. He's tough enough, he can take it, and then I just have people keeping him alive. Meanwhile, my damage dealers do a ton of damage. There's a bunch of champions you can use. Send roster shots. And we can kind of try and help you figure that out. Let's see. Where is my Arminger? He's back up here. So Arminger is a good champion early on. He's uncommon, super easy to get. His A1 is really good versus a spider because you see there it decreases the turn meter by 30% if it's critical. So you build him with 100% crit rate. Every hit, he's dropping that spider's turn meter. Spider takes fewer turns. Spider heals less. Also, later rest, really helpful because it does damage based on max HP. So both of those things are really good for the spider. So if you're struggling with spider 20, here's another one, Sepulchre Sentinel is really good for this as well. There's plenty of other champions you can look at. If you have an entire team that is positive affinity, you could use Visix as your tank. She would actually make a pretty great tank. I actually should probably try her for Spider because she can decrease speed. Also, she decreases turn meter on A1. And she can provoke all the Spiderlings too. So that's super helpful. So she's a viable tank option, assuming that you can arrange it so all the minions target her. But really, best ones to have is Cold Heart in terms of damage, just because of Heartseeker. It does so much damage. You saw it, 1.5 million I got on that run. So she's really good. There's a bunch of others. So feel free to reach out. Send me some screenshots of your team. I can look at it, kind of help you figure out how to beat whichever stage you're on based on the spider affinity. All right. So that concludes our video on how to take down the spider.